let's go ahead and jump to the point totals for tonight's NBA slate. We're going to start in Philadelphia, where the Dallas Mavericks are coming to town. This is a 204 point total, with the Dallas Mavericks giving up 4.5 points. That makes the Philadelphia 76ers a home dog. You know how I feel about the home dogs. There's a lot of fight in the home dogs, and I really think we can see a very solid game from Cats on the Philadelphia side as well as on the Dallas side. We talked about it already. I don't like to start point guards against the Dallas Mavericks, so there'll be no TJ McConnell for me. However, I do think that we can look to the Philadelphia front court as well as on the wing. Dario Saric jumps off the page for me, just as well as maybe some Jahlil Okafor. Those guys kind of jump off of the page for me, and for reasons above that. You're talking about narrative and things of that nature. Some of these guys jump off of the page for me. On the Dallas Mavericks side, Nerlens Noel, another guy that I've got to get in some of my lineups. I like the spot that he is in. Also, Harrison Barnes is very intriguing there. We can look maybe to JJ Barea at 3.7K. Game flow, and my initial thoughts about game flow with this game says that it's going to be higher than a point total, because both of these teams are fairly sloppy. These are fairly sloppy teams. These guys don't play super sound defensively, and I think that's going to lead to a little bit more points. Some more statistics overall, like more blocks, more rebounds, more everything. I think it's going to be a very, very competitive game, and I think if I had to bet, I would take the over in this one. Next game we're going to talk about is the Chicago Bulls going to Washington to take on the Wizards. There is not yet a point total or spread for this game because, of course, we are waiting on injury news from the Washington Wizards side. John Wall is game time decision. He's been day-to-day with that foot sprain. We've got to get some more information on that. Few quick highlights, man. I think you could rock with Jimmy Butler in this game. If we don't see John Wall, that's going to totally even the playing field. Where we're going to see some Washington playmakers as well as the Chicago playmakers kind of duke it out. And that automatically leads me to like Brad Beal. If Wall is out, I love Brad Beal. I like Otto Porter on the Chicago side. Butler, maybe some Rondo. Mix that in with a little bit of Robin Lopez at his very low price point, and I think you've got something there. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets at home facing the Boston Celtics. This is a 220 point total, a very nice point total on an 8-game slate. The Boston Celtics come to town giving up 9 points. The Brooklyn Nets are on a back-to-back, did not have to travel too far because they were actually in New York last night, so they didn't have to travel. So I don't think a back-to-back is going to be any concern. Plus, the main players on the Brooklyn side are young cats. We talk about Karis LeVert. We're talking about Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. These guys are young. These guys don't have 25 years of running hard basketball under the belts yet. So the back-to-back really doesn't concern me at all. The guy that I really like in this matchup is going to be Rondae Hollis-Jefferson if he does get the start for Trevor Booker, as well as Karis LeVert and maybe some Brook Lopez. Those are the guys that I kind of like. Now on the Boston side, there's a lot to like on the Boston side. We know with Isaiah Thomas being out, we're going to see Avery Bradley get that bump. I think Al Horford gets a bump in the way of scoring. Pretty much the whole team gets a bump because all Isaiah Thomas really did was score. And they're going to have to pick that up in a lot of different spots. We may see Terry Rozier play a lot more minutes. We may see Marcus Smart actually get the start in this game. If that happens, I love him at the price point he's at. A lot to like about the Boston side with Isaiah Thomas not traveling to Brooklyn with the team. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Toronto Raptors going to Detroit to take on the Pistons. This is a back-to-back for the Toronto Raptors. I don't like them very much in this game. It's only a 200-point total. I won't have too much exposure to this game on the whole. The only guy that I absolutely love is going to be Andre Drummond. That's the only play that I really love from this game. Next game we're talking about is the Minnesota Timberwolves going to Miami. A lot to like in this one. The point total is 206.5. I would bet the over in this game. We've got the Miami Heat at home giving up 4.5 points. Very, very, very good point differential there. Minnesota could be very competitive in this game. This could be a very competitive game. And if I had to go anywhere, I would go with Karl Anthony Towns. Him, and like I said before, I like Shabazz Muhammad coming off of the bench. Not a big fan of Ricky Rubio tomorrow, even though he does, and I say I'm not a big fan of him because I let the DVP scare me, but this dude has been playing so well in bad matchups lately that I am going to give him a shot in some of my lineups. I've got to be honest with you. No Wiggins for me, not a guy that I really like. On the Miami side, I would like to stack 3 of the Miami guys, man. I like to stack Hassan Whiteside, uh, Dion Waiters, as well as Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic being my favorite play from this game, and I love Whiteside as well. I'm going to pair those guys together. Next game is the Houston Rockets going to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. It's a 227-point total. Surprisingly, it's only a 4.5-point spread. That's very surprising because the Pelicans are not very good, and that's kind of surprising. But a couple guys I do like on the Houston side. Number one, I do like James Harden. I think Pat Bev is in play. Drew Holiday, man. On first glance, I was like, yeah, maybe, but nah, I'm not. I don't like Drew Holiday. No, I'm off of him. I'm off of him. And if I had to pick between Boogie, of course, and AD, I would go AD. Boogie has been playing like a maniac lately, and I don't mean in a good way. Like he's been acting like a little bitch lately, and I don't want to take a shot of him getting ejected and walking off the court with almost 10K in my DraftKings salary or my FanDuel salary. I don't want any piece of that. Next game we're talking about is the Orlando Magic and the Phoenix Suns. 220 points is the total. Very solid point spread between the two teams. The Phoenix Suns are the home favorite, giving up 3 points to the Orlando Magic. Everybody's going to be on Tyler Ulis tomorrow. I probably won't. Everybody's probably going to be on Devin Booker tomorrow. I probably will. I think Allen Williams is in a really good spot there. I don't really want to take on Vucevic, but I do like Evan Fournier, and I kind of like Elfrid Payton in the spot too. He's priced up a little bit, but I do think that he can return a solid investment on that 7.7K salary on DraftKings. The last game and the late night hammer game on the slate is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks going to LA to take on the Lakers. This is a perfect spot to get you a nice late night hammer. Somebody like, Giannis or Malcolm Brogdon, somebody like Chris Middleton, maybe some Greg Monroe. I think any number of those guys can be solid plays against the LA Lakers that could help separate you in the end, because let's just be real about it. Cats don't roster people in the late games the way they would if they were playing early. If this game played at 7 o'clock, we'd see a lot higher ownership on Giannis, on Chris Middleton. We would just see that. And people may not believe me, but that's just the truth of the matter. Lakers side, not too much for me to like there. I probably will not roster a single soul in the main slate from the LA Lakers side. But when I jump into my turbos as well as my later slate, I'm probably going to have some exposure. So this has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me on Twitter, of course, at DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your support of me, of the show, of the sweatshop, of everything that goes along with this. If you would like to support the show further, there's a box over there. It says support the show. Go ahead and click that box. If you want to support the show even further, there's a link in these videos to go ahead and copy some DFS Sweatshop swag. Go ahead and do that. Make that happen. Also, if you want to support my personal PayPal, it is simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. And if you want to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, you can go to the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will receive all of our tips and tricks and tools and everything that is designed to make you a profitable daily fantasy sports player. Thank you. I am your host. Y'all have a wonderful and profitable Friday, and keep it 300.